All right. So I want to unpack that. I want to unpack that for a second because although some of the information, I'm going to lie, some of the information she was saying, yeah, it's absolutely correct.
Moving over to the financial architects.
Yeah.
I felt like I was doing my clients a big disservice. Like if you're in the wrong place, not understanding the business completely, then you're not able to dish out the business as you should be able to.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, so I know we were just having a conversation here a second ago, and you guys are live, right? You guys are running appointments. Yvonne, I know you just had an appointment.
In action.
Manolo, in action. Yeah, what's up with that appointment? What happened?
It was a great appointment. I was able to sit down with a lender, actually, a younger gentleman. He's already kind of hip to the notion with diversifying and protecting his income. So he has an IUL already, an Index Universal Life Insurance, which is permanent, right?
Right.
And come to find out, and he's so organized, this guy. It was awesome. He brought his whole folder. Everything was in place.
I love clients like that.
I know. It's like
when they're all lined up.
You're right. Your date, your policy, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was able to see what really we were looking into right there on the spot. And, I don't want to say it wasn't structured correctly, but his needs have changed, right? His needs have changed now. And I had let him know annually you should be getting your policy looked at. So that way, life happens, we're moving and grooving, and so should your insurance policy if needed. So I'm going to go ahead and help him out and give him some more information.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it in the meetings all the time, too. It's like one of the best ways to approach conversation when it comes to people in insurance, right, is the annual reviews.
Yes.
That's why I tell you guys constantly, make sure you're asking people that already have insurance. A lot of times people just forget to review their stuff on an annual basis.
A year. Definitely at least once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that, it's a disservice.
Yeah, things are changing. Lives are changing. I mean, we just got married. We got married last year, and as soon as we got married, I had to update a couple things in my portfolio and stuff like that. And that's why it's like if you're in the insurance industry, I tell you guys like make sure you're paying attention to major life events, right?
Yes.
When people pass away, when people get married, people buy a new house, people have a baby.
They make more money.
They make more money.
Right.
Hey, I just got a promotion. Hey, that's an opportunity for you guys to go in there and be like, hey, congratulations. What's going on?
That's what I'm doing for a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's making more money now. He's actually like double his income. So
great.
Years ago, I sat down with him and his wife. We did term policies for them, and that's great because it's kept them safe in this time, right? But now he's more open to, hey, maybe I should look at an IUL, Index Universal Life Policy. Why? Because it's permanent and because he has more money to put into it, and he sees the downside of him only trying to put the money away on his own versus trying to put it away into like an insurance product that gives him more benefits, right?
Yeah.
Living benefits and all the other benefits that come along with that.
Yeah.
So, I did that on a Zoom call on Saturday because I'm not gonna go drive to see him. I was like, I've known you since we were 14, dude. Don't make me go drive. Don't make me go out there and drive to see you, dude. Like what?
Yeah.
Is this your buddy in LA?
Yeah. So his wife was in the background. She wasn't even paying attention, but but he knows what he's doing. So he had his policy, his when it was done, when it started, all of that.
Awesome.
So that's great.
That's the best thing about our business is that like I mess around whenever we do, obviously our company, we have a big culture with real estate, right? And you guys have heard me kind of drop the message.
It goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand, right? But it's like I always tell people, that's why I love our business because we could do this business from Zoom. We could do it from a phone. Just like I don't got to go show a house or anything. I know we'll probably have a lot of real estate agents that tap into the podcast.
Tell me about it.
You can plug in wherever.
It's
if you
okay.
wanted to do life insurance, wherever you are, you can take a call and, hey, I want to get myself in a policy because I need mortgage protection.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can get that dialed in from the other side of the country.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I got clients all over the place, which is nice. I know you just had a meeting too, right?
Yeah. No, I was just going to say when I first started doing like training appointments years ago, man, I put my own personal eco footprint, like a bad eco footprint because we drove around so much and you're driving so much. It's like, 2 hours here, 2 hours back. Yeah. That's a lot of time. So yeah, definitely Zoom is definitely like, such a great thing now.
Oh yeah.
You could just do that.
Revolutionized the way we do business.
Yeah.
In many different facets. I mean, and it's more convenient, could be, to the consumer, to the client that we're helping.
I mean, especially too, Yvonne, I mean, you're obviously a mom as well. And recently I'm a dad and having kids and stuff like that. We'll get into you guys as well in a sec. But see, like even like being a parent, right? Being a full-time parent, that's our first real big priority, right?
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about like why you liked the insurance industry, getting into the industry and stuff like that. Like what called you to it really?
Well, I always thought life insurance was about death, right? Your death benefits. When you pass away, your beneficiaries. It's not. A friend had come and explained to me, what he was doing as far as life insurance. And once I heard everything he had to say, living benefits, protecting your income, different ways you can invest tax-free money.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I said, I need to get involved. I need to get involved in this. There's so many people I can help. I told Daniel right away, like, we need to do this. We need to get involved. He had no clue what I was talking about. But I said, you'll thank me later. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And knowing that my mom has never been protected. I was never taught this. So the fact that I know what I know now, right? We don't know what we don't know. Right. And now I do have this knowledge. And now I can't stop but spread it. I really am passionate about growing together and being together as a unit, coming together in unity. Yeah. So we can thrive together and protect each other. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. No, that's powerful, and we'll keep diving into it. But as we continue on the show, I just want to welcome everybody that's listening in. Welcome to the first ever Wealth Group podcast powered by the Financial Architects. I am Pablo Moreno, and I am here alongside my amazing business partners and friends, Manolo, Yvoone, Daniel, so many more guests to come. But guys, really, as this first episode, when I reached out to you guys, I kind of had this vision. I was like, man, I have a vision of doing this podcast and really just having it with you guys, right? Having it with the agents on the team and really just educating. I mean, exactly what you just said, right? Is once you kind of get the knowledge of finances, I don't like to say that finances is everything, but it's super important to be educated in that, right? And so even with the vision in the motto that we have at TFA is to educate and empower families, right? We're not here to try and recruit you into something and then get you in, get your top 10. No, like that's a whole different episode. But at the end of the day, it's to educate families, right? And Correct. So exactly what Yvoone was saying, right, is getting into a business, getting educated for yourself, and then when you kind of open up your eyes to the possibilities of insurance, a living trust, having some mortgage protection, or even investing into real estate. And so the point of this podcast, I mean, we're going to have so many different, from investors to business owners to influencers to different ways of building wealth. And so that's really what the point of this podcast is. So again, to everybody that's out there, they're going to be listening to this, welcome to the first ever Wealth Group podcast.
Awesome.
It's going to be super fun. Manolo, I know you've been in the industry for a little bit, man. Tell us a little bit about the story. What got you into the industry? What got you pulled in?
I got into the industry because I was being a supportive spouse, and I got, looped into a meeting and another meeting.
Got you by the ear.
I said, hey, can I go in shorts? They said, no, put on a suit. I'm like, oh, again with the suit. Okay. So, I was a supportive spouse. I had no inclinations of getting into the insurance industry. 10 years later, almost now, I'm coming up on 10 years being licensed. And a big portion of that I focused on, funeral pre-planning, right? Which is what we call pre-need. Yeah. And that has also been part of my passion, I think, for me, educating the families out there. And the reason I got into that is because when I sat down with clients, they would tell me, well, I just want to do this. And I said, well, let's try to do this with, let's try to put that nail in with a measuring tape. And it wasn't working, right? So I went out and I found the hammer for that nail so that it would work. And that's what pre-need is. It's another tool for you, for us to be able to correctly help that family out, right? Because just like a family might want to spend X amount of money on a funeral plan, they don't actually have anything locked in with the funeral home unless they actually have a contract with that. And that's what I learned over the last 5+ years doing the pre-need services. And it's been a great addition, I think, for me, and now wanting to refocus more of my business with the financial architects, because I want to be able to offer everything, right? I want to become more of an expert on IULs and everything that we offer with annuities. So not just one thing, because like I said, if you're just that one agent offering one thing, then how can you actually help your client the right way? And that's what got me into this. And that's, it's 10 years later, here we are. So
it's crazy, man, because you say, like, I had never, and I've been in the industry for, I don't know, going on what, 4 or 5 years now. And so I always thought, even before I got into the industry, the same, like we hear this term final expense, right?
Yeah.
But when I met you, by the way, little shameless plug, got to go follow Mr. Funeral Planner.
Yeah.
IG, the IG's the Mr. Funeral. And I got introduced to you by Yvonne.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I got introduced to Yvonne by Daniel.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
Little
so dope.
trifecta
Yeah,
here.
it's like the trifecta. You guys are like the dream team here, right? A little dream team. I'll never forget, Daniel slid into the DMs one day. He's like, hey, bro, like, been following you for a minute, but like I just want to come to your office.
Instagram username, bro.
Yeah, he was about to take. Yeah, so we came and we met. We hit it off, and then I met shortly after I met Yvonne. So that was super dope. But got connected to the Mr. Funeral Planner by Yvonne, and so you were talking to me a little bit about pre-need, and there's a difference. I guess talk to us about the difference between pre-need for the people that are tapping in and they don't know what that is.
So when I sit down with families, I try to start, I start from the beginning, right? Let's
Yeah.
begin at the beginning. Final expense is just really a nickname, right? For a
That's
whole life
right.
policy,
Yep.
right? We could call it,
A whole life
when-
policy.
Yeah, we could call
Yeah.
it a whole life policy, or we could call it, hey, maybe your grandkid gets that money and buys themselves a new car when you pass away.
That's
We
right.
could nickname it that. But the pre-need is a contract that is paid for by that policy, and that policy is assigned to that contract. So it specifically goes to that funeral home right away.
Mhm.
So there's no confusion. There's no money left to a relative for you to, in the future, have to take that money and pay that funeral home. So not only did you not lock in any costs with that funeral home, but you're kind of leaving a lot of variables in that situation, in that scenario.
Right.
So with this way, we make it a lot easier, facilitate it to the funeral home so they just get that money right away. And that's the difference. It's you're locking in a cost with the funeral home,
Mhm.
and you're guaranteeing that your family members don't have to worry about paperwork signed and anything that comes along with that, because I think at that point you want to take that time to grieve. You don't want to
Yeah.
Right.
deal with, well, what funeral home should we call
Right.
for? What services did mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, whoever your loved one is that passed, what did they want? No, it's all said and right. And yes, you can't put your wishes in a trust, right? But you can put that policy, right? You know more about this
Yeah.
in a trust, but still there's no locked in cost with a funeral home. That's the
Right.
other advantage of that. And with that, I just kind of ran with it, and I worked for a local family-owned funeral home here in Riverside for 3 years as an in-house counselor. And I thought to myself, one day I said, well, nobody's calling themselves anything. So I said, well, maybe I'll just call myself Mr. Funeral Planner, right?
Yeah.
So that way
It's
people
catchy.
don't ask,
Yeah,
hey,
that's good.
what do you do? I'm like, well, I plan funerals.
There's no questioning what you do.
Right.
For the
exactly.
future, right? That's
Yeah.
always for the future.
Correct.
Because
Yes.
we have what we call pre-need and ad-need. So
Right.
when a loved one's passed, that's an ad-need situation. When we're pre-planning for your loved one for the future, it's a pre-need.
What is the
Interesting.
youngest person that you've got a pre-need for?
So there is no age. You can plan a pre-need funeral for,
Okay.
but I think the youngest has probably been around 18. I would say
Okay.
18 years. Yeah.
What got you, like, no one ever wakes up and says, like, I don't know, I kind of have a joke from time to time. So, like, nobody ever wakes up and says, I want to be a life insurance agent, or I want to be a funeral planner, right?
Right.
Like, right? So, like, I always like to get to the root.
Hey,
of
you
it.
guys
like,
didn't?
why,
No, of course
why
not.
why'd you get called in? Like, do you have a reason why? Is there a story behind that people may not know?
I mean, if I do think about it, right? Like, yes, I didn't wake up one day and said, hey, let me just go pre-plan funerals for everyone.
Yeah.
I think back to the story of my mom, right? My mom passed away in 2000. So it's 25 years ago in March.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate. I was fortunate because my family, she didn't pass away here. She passed away in Mexico City. But I was fortunate because my mom's funeral was pre-planned, right? There was a
Awesome.
lot of things that I was fortunate with my family, one being a doctor, one of my cousins, one of my other
Mhm.
cousins being a priest. Everything was taken care of, from death certificate signed to the mass done by my cousin, right? And that's something that I wish everybody can have that, because you don't have to, you can grieve. You don't have to worry
Right.
about, well, what are we doing? Are we going to have to raise funds somehow for a funeral plot or a service, right? Are we doing a car wash? And that comes all back to just
Right.
life insurance in general,
Mhm.
and also a pre-need plan, right?
Yeah.
And one thing, I didn't touch on this, but so when you do a pre-need policy, you're not doing a blanket amount of 10,000 or 5,000. You're going down to the specific amount of what it actually costs, right? So if your service is a traditional service at a cemetery, and not including property, of course, this is just the services. But if it's $8,452, that's the face amount of the policy you're issuing. So you're not leaving a $10,000 check in blank for, like I said, for a family to take that. But that's I think what unknowingly got me into it. And now when I think back about what happened in my life 25 years ago, that's something that I want to help other families and other people understand that and not have to go through that or go through it the way I did, so
That's
that
good.
they
Right.
can have time to grieve.
I think that's so important too, because like I always like asking people that, and even I'm gonna go to you here in a second, Daniel, because I know your story is super impactful. It's like I said, a lot of people don't wake up and say, I want to be a life insurance agent. I want to sell. I want to help people, right? But until something kind of happens to you, right?
Right.
Luckily for Manolo, it was something that, his mom. I didn't know that story about you, bro. Is that
Yeah, not a lot of people know about it.
your mom actually, it had everything planned out versus like the reason why I got into it. I mean, you guys kind of heard my story. Is my dad suddenly passed away in 2009. Came here as an immigrant from Mexico City. Didn't have anything planned when he passed away unexpectedly in 2009, and he was somebody that built a massive Mexican fast food chain. Almost 97 restaurants. I mean, tons of money in the state, and we ended up going into a 6.5-year probate case when he passed away in 2009, right?
Wow.
And so, I mean, we ended up taking over the corporation and the estate, and 95% of his estate was juiced, right? And so people get into the business for a different reason. I know, Daniel, I want to come to you for a second here. Is like, you have a super powerful story, bro, because I mean, I'll let you kind of explain to what got caught, because you had a major, like, it was life or death for you,
Yeah, bro.
right? Tell us a little bit about that experience, man.
Well, touching on what you guys were talking about a bit ago, eliminating expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Following death, there's usually the funeral plot and then all the other needs that you need to take care of.
Yeah.
My accident happened in 2020, right when COVID was starting, and I was involved in a car hit me and I was in a coma for the next 2 months. Thank God my dad had insurance through his work that covered me, but it would have been a $2 million bill. So learning about life insurance through Yvoone kind of opened my eyes, and like she said, I wanted to go tell the world. So I started putting, all the information, to use, and, going to the Wednesday trainings at these other companies where I started.
Yeah.
And it was something that I really loved. So
Yeah, people don't think about that.
No.
Especially
Yeah.
at your age. How old were you when
Right.
you had your accident?
I was 19.
Bro, 19
young.
years old? What can
It's
you tell a
young.
19-year-old?
Nothing they're gonna
Can't
listen
tell
to.
me when anything
I
when
know
I was
they're
19. Yeah.
You
No,
can
dude,
tell
we
them,
don't-
but-
We don't learn these things in high school. You don't
No.
learn about real estate, life insurance, and those are two industries I got myself into so that I could get on top of the future.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you guys
You know?
both do real estate as well,
Right.
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Also do real estate, a little bit of commercial as well.
Commercial,
Yeah,
residential.
like you guys, I mean, Yvonne, Daniel, I guess kind of talk a little bit about that is to like being in the real estate space. You guys educate people on investing into real estate,
Oh yes.
right?
It
And
goes,
so
like I
part
said,
of what we do is also mortgage protection and,
Yep.
and yeah, spit on that a little bit.
it goes hand in hand,
Yeah.
right? If you are a real estate agent and you are not helping them with their life insurance needs, not only on a professional end are you leaving money on the table, but you're not doing the full service to your client, right? A lot of people don't know about living trust, or they do and don't have that point of contact.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think it's 85% of
Mhm.
homeowners do not
You're right.
have a trust.
To say that again.
That's get a trust.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then mortgage protection. We insure the loan, we insure the house.
Mhm.
Why are we not insuring the homeowner? Right? If something
That's right.
happens to them and they cannot pay the mortgage, you don't want to have your family go into foreclosure.
Yeah,
Yep.
you need the
You
income
know?
protection. If one spouse is down, then the money's there to compensate for them.
Exactly.
That's
So it's
something that
important.
I see, like families also get confused on that because you tell
Yeah.
them mortgage protection and then they think, oh yeah, no, I have that. And you're like, no, not the one that protects the bank.
The loan.
Yeah.
The
Right.
one that protects your
You.
family in case
Right.
something happens to you guys.
Right.
Right.
That's
Of course,
the
the bank
true
wants to
mor-
protect their
Yeah.
investment.
Oh, yeah,
The
that's
bank is
first.
good,
First.
but
Yeah.
you want to protect your each other's income, right? You're dependent on it.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
found that out too because they go, oh yeah, I have mortgage protection. Like, yeah, your bank's cool. They're like, yeah, we get paid if you no, not
Right.
that one.
No,
Yeah.
you yourself.
Yeah, big
Personal.
difference between homeowners insurance, the insurance on the loan, which is
Mhm.
what the P&I insurance,
Boom.
and then mortgage protection. It's not the same thing, right? And so that's exactly part of what we talk about with our clients is homeowners insurance is in case anything happens, a catastrophic
property.
event on the
Mhm.
property. the P&I insurance is
Right.
on the loan, right?
Correct.
The bank is placing insurance in case anything happens
On
to
that
you.
lended money.
But that doesn't go to your family, right?
Right.
And so the mortgage protection is a life insurance policy, whether it be a term insurance policy, permanent insurance policy. They're the ones that are going to be able to pay, your beneficiaries, your spouses, or your children to be able to pay off any debts that you leave behind. And a lot of times,
Right.
One of the easiest things, especially for realtors out there that are listening to this, is like, if you're selling somebody a home, or even lenders, if you're selling a $500,000 loan to somebody, you're really doing yourself a disservice, like Yvonne said, of not giving them, or at least presenting them with the opportunity to have a $500,000 mortgage protection plan in case anything happens to them. And to also talk about that, I'd like for you guys to all kind of spit on this idea of living benefits. People think that you need life insurance only for when you pass away. That's actually completely false.
Correct.
Some of the plans that we offer talk about this concept and already include the living benefits portion, right? Which is the mortgage protection or the income protection that you're talking about in case anything happens. So kind of spit on that. How do you guys talk about that to your clients? Because I know we were talking about it with a client recently as well. Yeah.
I think it's a great thing to fall back on. The mortgage protection, the income protection, essentially. I was involved in a coma, and if I would have had some sort of life insurance at that time, then if I was in this critical injury, I would have got paid out a good portion of my life insurance at the time. So critical injury, critical illness, chronic illness, terminal illness, and Alzheimer's, those things get paid out depending on the structure of your policy.
That's big. That's really big.
Yeah, one of the things I always tell clients too, or just when I'm talking to them about numbers, is a term life policy is very inexpensive because the probability of you passing away during that time period is very low. That's why it's so inexpensive, right? Otherwise, it'd be more expensive. But considering that you're not going to pass away during that time, you got to think about the living benefits, right? Terminal illness, critical injury, all the things that are listed on there that could happen, that you're not necessarily like, okay, you had something happen in your life, you had a heart attack, but you didn't die. Now what? Now you got to get back on your feet. You need money for that. The family's going to need money to replace that income, at least for a certain amount of time. So good thing you didn't pass away, right? Unless you had a preneed in place. But,
talk about that a little bit more. But now that you didn't, right, you're uninsurable. So now what? Okay, so if you had one, you see clients, sometimes they have those older policies, which is good. You got something, 10, 15 years ago, maybe didn't have all those living benefits. But you got to definitely, that's why it's important to check up on your clients every year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was one thing I was going to mention earlier in the conversation. Are there people that have automated payments to pay for the life insurance so they don't even think about making the annual renewals or
no, 100%. I mean, there's different types of life insurance out there, right? You got insurances that you can pay, either at once. You can pay it for the whole year. That's the beautiful thing about what we do, right? Like we make it very flexible for anybody, whether it's like you're on a monthly budget and you got to hit that, or whether it be, hey, I had a client the other day, they just want to pay the whole thing up front and or quarterly, whatever it is. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of different ways that you could pay for it. But I did want to tap in a little bit on a video. I want to get a reaction from you guys, and we'll kind of debrief it here in a second.
Okay.
But I want to get some feedback, because there's a lot of insurance agents out there that talk about different types of insurance, and so not all life insurance policies are the same. Obviously, all you guys can kind of probably agree to that. But there's companies out there, and I'm not going to give any names, but there's companies like, I'm assuming what this young lady, this is the type of insurance that she sells, and that's cool. But I'd like to get some feedback on this.
If you're watching this, you're likely part of the 99% of people who have no business paying for permanent life insurance. I'm Maria, and I'm a first-gen Latina building wealth in America. And if there's one thing I cannot stand, it's another insurance broker lying in our community's faces about needing permanent life insurance. Let's get this clear. Life insurance, like any other insurance, is designed to protect, in this case, your dependents, not generate you income. That means that number one, you only need it if you have dependents that need protecting. You wouldn't pay hundreds of dollars per month to insure a car you didn't have, would you? Number two, if you do have dependents and want life insurance, look into term life insurance, which covers you for a specified time at a much lower cost. This way, if you have, say, $400 per month to put toward your future, you can pay $50 toward life insurance and the rest toward a real investment. And number 3, if you're in life insurance for its income generating potential, all I have to say to you is I'm sorry, te vieron la cara. This is from Tiffany Ilich's book, Get Good with Money. The average annual rate of return for a whole life guaranteed cash value plan is 1.5%. You could be getting 4% in a freaking savings account or tracking the stock market for 8 to 10%. If you or a loved one have already been paying toward permanent life insurance, it might not be too late to get out. Start with Tiffany's book.
So,
Oh Lord.
all right. So I want to unpack that. I want to unpack that for a second because although some of the information, I'm gonna lie, some of the information she was saying, yeah, is absolutely correct.
Yeah, there's
you
some
know,
facts in there.
there's some
she
good
got the
value
term.
in there,
She got the
right?
term
She
correct.
understood what she was.
Me vieron la cara. güey.
Maybe. I mean, she was going pretty ham on some people. But here's what I'll say to that, right? We all know what company that is, right?
Yes.
Buy term and invest a difference.
Mhm.
Listen, one of the things about and this is what I love about our culture is that we're not forcing one policy down everyone's throat, right?
Correct.
Term policies are great. Permanent policies are great.
Mhm.
Whole life, IUL, doesn't matter. GULs, there's different types of policies. Insurance is not a one size fits all.
Correct. We all
Right?
have different needs.
Right. And this company, again, I'm not going to, it rhymes with Rhyme America, right? But their company, right? We're talking about the conversation of life, of living benefits.
Right.
It's something so important for the people that are shopping. They're looking at different options. They're trying to see, hey, do I go with an IUL? Do I go with a term? Do I go with a whole life? The living benefits we talk about all the time is probably one of the most important things of a life insurance
Yes.
policy, right? Not all life insurance policies, like the policy that she's talking about, offer full living benefits.
Correct.
So just a quick little educational plug-in. There's 4 different types of living benefits. There's terminal illness, chronic illness, critical illness, and critical injury, right? And I'll kind of break those down very briefly. Terminal illness, some companies 12 months, other companies 24 months. You've been certified by a doctor by 12 or 24 months to less to live. That qualifies you to get an accelerated death benefit, meaning if you have $1 million policy, sometimes let's just say, for example, you get $500,000 paid up front if you've been certified by that doctor. Critical illness, there's 6 daily living activities, right? Which I'm drawing a blank on some of them right now, but walk, bathe, dress, transfer
Right.
yourself, eat, etc.
Mhm.
You lose 2 out of those 6, you qualify for a monthly distribution, or kind of like what a lot of people look at is like kind of like a disability,
Right.
right? People compare this to disability insurance. Disability is going to pay you maybe 40% of your annual
Correct.
salary. You're used to making $100,000 a year. Imagine making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000.
Right.
Wow.
That's a major cut,
Mhm.
right? Not all insurance companies offer these living benefits. Heart attack, stroke, cancer,
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
severe burns, anything like that. I had a buddy the other day, one of my clients. I was having a barbecue at his house, right? And luckily, I mean, he's a father of 3, works, busts his butt, probably works like 80 hours a week,
Oh.
like really does a lot of working, right? Is away from his family, and he's having a barbecue on a Sunday, lights half of his body on fire.
Oh my God,
Right?
this just happened?
Yeah, this
Wow.
happened about a year ago, right?
Okay.
But luckily, I hit him up. I'm like, hey, bro, like, you could cash in on he had like stage 4 severe
Burn.
burns,
Wow.
right? He could have cashed in on his life. He was off of work for like 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
He was protected and didn't take advantage.
He didn't want to take advantage, but he could have, right? He could have cashed in on his life insurance and
Right.
in his living benefits. Companies like that, they're not covering you,
Correct.
right? A lot of people think that these policies are all the same. They're not.
Well, and this is why my appointment I had earlier, I was really letting him know it's so important with who you work with.
Oh yeah.
It's crucial. It's, coming down to our lovely friend over here
Yeah.
versus who knows what she knows,
Right.
right? She knows what she knows. We don't know what we don't know versus someone who has more tools in their belt.
I always find it funny because I remember years ago, I had a friend of mine from a job I worked at, and he
Mhm.
came to the house and he met with myself and my ex-wife, and he brought his wife, and it's like, we're going to talk to you about this. And we're like, okay, yes, buy term, invest the rest, but invested in what? Like they never, and sometimes those agents never come back.
And
Like,
they,
they
can't-
don't come back to
can't
tell
really
you
help
to invest
and they
in
can't
what.
help you with
They
that.
sold
Yeah.
you a policy, and then maybe they didn't stay in the business, or they didn't get
Right.
their complete licensing that they
Right.
needed for you to invest. So
Correct.
invest the rest in respectfully or disrespectfully in what? Like where was I gonna put the money in at, dude? Like you never, and yeah, and if you get that policy for like 30, 35 years, and then now you're 70 or 65,
Right, and you're out.
so what's the plan
It's
then?
expired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was
mean-
just talking with the client recently. They were in their 60s. their term policy expired.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't invest the rest.
Okay.
Right? They had a Primerica policy. I don't care. I'll say it. Right?
Right.
And now the
Primerica.
company was trying to charge them like it was like $1,500 a month
Oh yeah.
for like
Wow.
a $500,000 policy.
Yeah.
See, that's where at that point a pre-need policy might make sense for them.
Okay.
Or even a
Mhm.
whole life policy, right? Either one, depending on what their needs are. Do they
Right.
want to
Right.
leave money for certain things, or do they just want to pay for their services?
Right.
Right.
But yeah, invest the rest. It's like to me that's always been like
It's a
a
blank
myth. Like you
Yeah,
guys
it's a
never
blank
came back.
statement.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love term insurance.
I mean, it's a great
Yeah.
place to start. If
Yeah.
you don't have anything, start with term if that's what you can afford.
Right.
You know, I tell my sons are in 19 and 23 now. All of their friends are like, okay, we see what you're doing. We need something. I said, start with a term, right? A convertible term.
Yeah.
That way,
That's another thing.
yes, that
Yeah.
way that we can, what that means is you have your term policy and what is it, before 10 years?
It depends.
There's a
Depends on
buffer,
the
5
period.
years,
Yeah,
okay.
15, 20 years
You
usually.
you can convert that term policy into a permanent policy. So it keeps your health rating to where you initially started, and there is no lapsing of coverage.
Yeah.
So at least you have something. Term is great because it's affordable.
Yeah.
And at least you're starting with some sort of coverage. God forbid.
I saw she said something on there on the video about one. I mean,
Well, I
I
know.
think whole life policies do give you like a 4 to 5%, depending
Her
on the carriers, right? I think the
It was-
1%
it was
is
off.
pretty
She
low.
was
Yeah, I mean, it
But-
all really kind of depends. Majority of whole life policies out there will pay out a dividend of 3 to 5%. It just kind of depends, right? But it also depends on structure, depends on
Correct.
what company. A lot of
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
these agents that unfortunately just don't know, they're just told they don't know what they don't know, right? And so, yeah, is it true that some permanent policies will pay out 1.5%? Yeah, unfortunately, that is true. There are people out there that just don't design ethically, or they just don't know
Right.
when they're just getting started, they design
Mhm.
something. But that's why I always say getting that annual review. We were talking about it
Yes.
earlier. Is so important. Understanding what you have, and so whether that be a permanent policy, IUL whole life, that's another thing. That's a whole different conversation. Maybe another episode. But major differences between IUL and whole life, right? In how the dividends work, how the cash value works,
Right.
how these payouts work, right? The crediting strategies.
Mhm.
That's a whole different That's a whole different podcast. But yeah, 100%,
Or even
there's
between like a
differences.
universal versus an index universal, right? 'Cause
Massive.
sometimes-
Right.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I was actually just thinking about right now. There's companies out there that work with funeral concierge companies, right?
Mhm.
They're great. They'll help you at the time of need, but a concierge company is just like a hotel concierge. You're going to them for a specific service. They're going to look around and figure out what's best for you at that time of need. But
Mhm.
there's no locked in cost, none of the other stuff that
Oh,
has been
okay.
done with the pre-need. And I only thought of that because I saw her talking about that. And I thought, okay, yeah, the concierge companies do exist.
Yeah.
They're helpful. But they have basically a check that they just received from the insurance carrier, and now they're going shopping with that, those funds, looking for the best possible solution for your family at that time, right?
So it's not locked in.
I think
It's
we-
not locked in. It's a
Mm.
concierge company. There's no contract with the funeral home, so why would
Oh.
the contract honor any prices? You never sat down and signed the contract with them for the future.
So
right?
that's wouldn't be a
Yeah,
great
and that's
step.
another thing too that I come across a lot of agents, and I'm not gonna say what company starts with a W and an F and a G, but they have a concierge. They tell
Yeah.
them this is funeral services.
Oh,
They said no,
interesting.
it's not. It's gonna help you at the time of your
Mhm.
loved one passing, but it's not gonna help you the way that a
You're
pre-need
not locking
policy-
it in.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
contract.
That's
yeah.
so important.
Yeah, and to me that's a big difference too, because it's a lot of confusion whether it's whole life, term, universal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's all about presenting the client with all the options possible
Yes.
and giving them what they want.
That's what I love about our company
Right.
too. Like I think, and we could kind of spit on this a little bit. I know when Daniel and I first met, he was coming over from another company, right? You guys were both coming over
Yes.
from another
Uh-huh.
company, and so
That's how I.
great company,
Mhm.
very influential individual. That is actually an ally, I would say, to TFA, right?
Right.
Great company. I was actually at this company when I first started as well. And so, we want options, right?
Right.
What I love about TFA, the financial architects, is what we kind of say to clients across the kitchen table is we're kind of like the Foot Locker of financial services, right? Whether that be pre-needs, whether that be different types of insurance, whether that be retirement planning, estate planning, debt consolidation. I mean, there's so
Right.
many different options, and especially when it comes into planning for your future, right?
Yes.
Whether that be an unforeseen event, death, No one can escape it.
Right,
That's
right.
just the honest truth.
And
I've
we
never
don't- and
met.
we can't
I've
time
never. I've never met anybody that has lived forever. You guys let me know. We'd love to interview them on the podcast if you guys know. But at some point, it's like, would you? You have to prepare yourself, right?
Correct.
Do you want to leave behind debt, or do you want to leave behind wealth?
A legacy.
Right,
Right.
a legacy.
Mhm.
Right. So talk to us a little bit about like, why did you guys choose to come over from another company? I want to ask you guys specifically, Daniel and Yvonne, like, why did you guys choose to leave? We'll just call it the other company
Okay.
and come here to TFA. Obviously, reputation was one of them, but you
Right.
guys talk to me a little bit more about that.
Ladies first.
Okay. Well, so when I found out, I was already in real estate,
Okay.
right? Found out about life insurance and living benefits and how it can protect, the homeowners and their income. So that I was like, yes, I'm buying into that. That's extremely important. Went into this company, and that wasn't quite what was going on there, right? We did not speak about product at all or services at all.
Was there a lot of cheering?
It definitely brought me out of my comfort zone. There was a lot of cheering, and it was
Did you have to invite people to the meetings?
yes.
Not that cheering's bad. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm not a
just-
cheerleader. I'll cheer for my children, and all of you guys, but not physically.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was really high on recruiting.
Yeah.
And that's not what I was getting into the business. I was getting into the business, and I'm here to actually help families and individuals, right? Like I said, that's my mission. So just getting people underneath me and me not even knowing what I'm doing from the jump, I wasn't comfortable with that. And it wasn't aligning with who I am and my goals. So then Daniel said, hey, Yvonne, I found somebody else. I've been following him for quite some time.
About a year.
And I followed his lead. And
Stalker.
and we met you.
You slid in the DMs.
Stalking him.
Yeah,
on
so-
social media.
Tell me, Daniel, how did you, I don't even know how you got involved with Pablo to begin with.
Well, his name was what was it on Instagram? Mr. Ambitious, and I was like, when this guy changes his Instagram name, I'm taking that app.
Have you done that yet?
No, I didn't take it.
Mr.
I didn't
Ambitious,
take
not
it.
yet.
What's stalking
It's
you?
in
He
there.
was waiting for you to.
It's there, bro. It's there. Someone's
I
gonna
love the
take
guy.
that.
We're too close now. I can't take that Instagram name. It'll seem like hater stuff. But so moving over to the financial architects,
Yeah.
I felt like I was doing my clients a big disservice. Like if you're in the wrong place, not understanding the business completely, then you're not able to dish out the business as you should be able to. So I reached out to Pablo, who I've seen doing his thing on Instagram. He was doing a lot of life insurance, and I reached out to him. Hey, Pablo, I got myself involved with this company doing life insurance. They just took 3 of my leads.
Oh my God.
What do you got going
I
on over
remember
there
that.
at
Yeah.
TFA?
Yeah,
Said, bro, come over. I'm right here in Pomona.
Yeah.
So we talked for like 20 minutes, and I don't know. It was he's a man of faith, and I'm the same. So we
right.
connected really well, and so now we're here.
Yeah.
And I'm like a plate of Mexican food. I've been a barber since I was 14. I've been doing real estate. I got a life insurance license. I got a driver's license, bro.
Oh,
So
man.
everything's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I have a tattoo on the back of my calf. It's half of it's a clock, half of it's a compass. It means like if you're in the right direction, any goals, anything you desire is only going to take time.
That's right.
It's real
Okay.
personal, you
That's
know.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's dope, right? Is that like, and not to say anything against other there's guys, I always tell people like there's not one way of doing this business,
No.
right?
Mm-mm.
If there's companies out there that, recruiting people and, bringing people to the party and the whole rah-rah thing, I think
Right.
that's dope. That's
Yeah, I don't
awesome.
think
like
it's anything in this.
if that works,
No.
that works, right? But like to kind of piggyback off of what you guys are saying, it's like we are here, we have a passion for making sure that we're doing the best when it comes to designing policies.
Yeah. Education.
Talking about product. Yeah, our mission is to educate and empower.
Yes.
And so that's really what our culture is. And so yeah, that's when I came to TFA and I linked up with Manny. I mean, that was instantly. I was at PHP, WFG. I was at another small IMO for a short amount of time, and this was all within my first year of being in the business.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I jumped around quite a bit.
Your head
I
was
was-
spinning, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I was done by the time I came and I met Manny. I was already about to go the real estate route. My best friend
Okay.
Adrian Trejo, shout out to Adrian. he was like, hey, bro, like we had a fitness brand at the time, and he wanted to go the insurance route, and I was going to end up going the real estate route.
Oh,
I
interesting.
already had my I was about to take my real estate license when he said, bro, you need to meet this guy, Manny. And this was in 2020, right? This was in the midst of COVID. And and I was like, man, no, I'm done. I'm over it. All these 3 companies, they're all doing the same thing. Like, I don't want to do it. My mentor at the time, at the time when he told me this, he was being mentored. You know, he was a ex-mentee of Robert Kiyosaki from Rich Dad Poor Dad. And he got COVID, pneumonia. He was, you know, in his late 70s, and he almost passed away. So he had to retire from the business. And so I came to TFA, the first TFA meeting, the first interview with Manny, and he didn't try to recruit me. He was just talking product. And sure enough, he was just like, man, if you want to come to a meeting, you can. Like, it's up to you.
You come in short.
Right.
And I
don't
come in a hat.
No.
Don't come in a hat. And so, and not once did he try recruiting me. He was just like, bro, just come back. And here I am, 4 years later, never left, right? Now broker, franchisee with the company, and we're building our own squad. And it's exactly what I tell you guys. Look, you can build here, but focus on producing, focus on writing business, focus on understanding the product, become a subject matter expert, right? Whether that's in pre-need, whether that's in mortgage protection, whether that's in telling your story, like, become a subject matter expert in the business first. And we have a ton of different options at our company. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, we're like that plate of Mexican food. Right. You know, we got IUL, whole life.
I know. Right.
Term, living, you know, living trust, pre-need. I mean, annuities, right?
Debt solutions.
The debt solutions. I mean, we have tons of different options.
We can even bring you back if you pass away on vacation.
What does that mean? Tell me a little bit about that. I know you got something that you talk about.
He's real niche here with that.
Yeah, well, you know, after a conversation ends, after pre-planning a funeral, they always ask, well, what happens if I pass away on vacation? Well, we have a plan that is designed to bring you back if you pass away 75 miles or more away from home, right? Anywhere around the world, right?
Important.
As long as it's not a communist country, because I don't know why you're there, right? Or if the country's at war.
You're not coming.
Yeah,
I'm Cuban, bro. I'm Cuban, all right?
And there has to be...
We'll
can't help you there.
Yeah, exactly. We'll
put it straight up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's got to be commercial flights, right? I mean, we have to be able to get in. Not me personally. I don't go and bring you back personally myself, right? So
come on, man.
Right.
I need you bringing me back.
Now, does the you have a company that comes out then, the specific company, not the funeral home?
Yeah, it's not the funeral home. It's a specific company. They've been in business since 1978, and they focus on bringing loved ones back from around the world. Okay. So if someone passes away, whether it's somebody that's already passed away or you have a plan, obviously the costs are going to vary between, like anything, right? Yeah. You prepay for something versus paying for it at time of need. Right. You know, statistically speaking, just because of working with this company, most of the people that pass away in Vegas on vacation are from Southern California. And just to bring somebody back from Vegas is a few $1,000s. So
yeah,
it's definitely something that is, you know, like I said, not everybody thinks about that, but there's a service that we offer for that purpose, right?
What is that service called?
It's a travel protection plan.
Okay.
And that's basically what it's called.
You know, I just want to advocate for that because I went through that personal experience. My dad, when he passed away in 2009, he passed away in TJ.
Okay.
Unexpectedly.
Okay.
And so we ended up burying him here at Forest Lawn in West Covina.
Okay.
And it was, my family went through so much to get him over here, get him across the border. Like, it was something that was devastating, right? And it was, luckily, you know, the bank account was there and it had money in it, but imagine having a protection plan for that.
Yeah, I've had clients that tell me, well, I have millions of dollars in life insurance. What do I need this, you know, plan that is so inexpensive, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I tell them, well, okay, let's picture you're in the Alps.
Let's play that out.
Yeah, you're in the Alps in Italy and something tragic happens. Like, you didn't just get injured where you have like medical attention needed. No, you passed away. Okay, well, how do we get you back to the States? And how do we get those insurance policies? Because we all know without a death certificate, we can't file a claim with the insurance carrier, right? So how do we get you back here? Yes, if your family is wealthy, they may want to spend thousands of dollars, but why? And why not facilitate that in a much easier way with having something already in place? So it's all peace of mind, right? Whether it's life insurance, a funeral pre-plan, travel, you know, mortgage protection, travel protection. We have you covered. I think at this point, from birth to, you know, to death. Right?
No, and everything in between.
True. Yeah. And it's you want to build wealth, right?
Correct.
This is a wealth Group podcast. You want to build wealth. Listen, speaking from personal experience, my dad, he came here, somebody that I know, and I know so many people, Elvis Presley. I mean, there's people, even celebrities, right?
Prince.
They spend their they spend their entire lives building wealth only to lose it all because they didn't do proper planning.
Yeah, lucky for him, right? Minnesota and California, probate states, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, not lucky. I'm saying
Right,
like,
unlucky,
but I'm
but
just saying it's like unfortunate
Yeah.
that somebody like Prince, right, who accumulated all that money. It's It's not.
That's
and like
why
I
we're
said,
here to
it's just an
educate.
easy,
Yeah.
100%. It's an easy peace of mind thing to have. where
Yes.
You're protecting yourself in all aspects of life, right?
And it's flexible. Whatever, people think they have this idea of life insurance is expensive. And, I don't need it and I'm young or I have money, right? Like you were saying. But really, when you break it down, just be responsible. Be responsible. Be that provider for yourself first.
Yeah.
Right? Take care of yourself first.
Don't get
So
caught
that
with your
way.
pants down.
Yeah. No, you don't want to get caught with your pants down. No, financially, anything. So, it's definitely really important. I think we're in this, era right now where we have everything at our fingertips, right? So education is right there at the horizon, and we're here to dive into that and reach out to as many people as we can so we can help protect them.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, man, this has been a great podcast. We're about to start wrapping up here in a second, but I'm excited. I'm excited to build with you guys. I'm excited to continue to grow with you guys. I'm really, really proud of you guys. Just want to acknowledge you guys. Manolo recently joined us on the team and has been crushing it.
Yes.
Yvonne been crushing it.
Thank you.
Daniel been crushing it. Yvonne, I'm very proud of you too, just because I know
thanks.
I always tell you in our meetings, like I go hard on you for a reason.
It's okay. I have tough skin.
It. Yeah. I see it in you, and I know you're going to be super successful in the business.
I don't.
you.
You'll hurt my feelings. Okay, so
I know. I'm not easily offended. I've been through a lot.
You got to have that thick skin, man. You got to have that thick skin in sales. You know?
Yes.
You got to have it. But as we begin to kind of end, any closing comments that you guys have, or anything that you guys have?
Well, I just wanted to share a little bit of my how I came about.
Please.
With Pablo, right? So
Yeah.
yes, I met Yvonne at a friend's house at a Christmas party.
Well, that's what you're saying.
Yes.
We've met before that.
Okay, I mean,
There's story there.
I don't remember.
Big time.
I know.
Always,
always. What do you call it? Big timey. That's okay. Go for it.
It happens.
It's okay.
Happens.
What did you call it?
I've met
I
like
know.
3 people.
This is
like,
the young verbiage is big time. I still
Oh.
don't really know what that means.
Okay,
But
it's like
Like a
Showtime.
big
Is it
time
like the
someone?
wrestler
Yeah.
Showtime? No.
Like
Big
show
time someone?
somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
I think big
explain
time
it.
means like you meet somebody and you've met the same person like 3 times when you go introduce yourself. Like,
Uh-huh.
oh, how nice to meet you. It's like, I've met you like 5 times.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's what big time means. I don't know.
Mr. Funeral Planner.
So she
big time
introduced
me.
me to
Big timed her,
Pablo.
bro?
Yeah.
Dang, bro. That's messed
I
up.
don't even know what that
It's
means
okay. I
right
forgive
now.
you. I
That's messed
forgive
up.
you.
It's okay. We give you a pass on this.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Don't let it happen again.
Apparently, we met
Come over
before.
to TFA.
No, but I had heard of Manny. He was in another company for a long time, and I had run into him. By run into him, I don't mean like I knew him personally. I think he one time said "excuse me" and I moved out of the way, right? So, like that's how I met Manny.
Yeah.
Right? But I have to say this: you don't know what you don't know. So unless you come to one of the training meetings, because that's how I came on board, right? I came to the couple training meetings, and I was like, okay, nobody's trying to recruit me, nobody's cheering.
What's
And I say
going
that, of course, facetiously, but yes, you don't know what you don't know. And then once you're here, then you start realizing, okay, I've done the MLMs, right? And now that I'm here, it's like, okay, this isn't that. This
Right.
is something that I can
right.
really like plant
Build
my
on.
flag, right? Like they always say,
Right.
plant your flag.
Yes.
But I see the vision here and I see the growth that I can have here. And it's great. And so my point to that is just don't assume, right? Don't
Right.
assume anything and just come show up and see what happens.
Yeah. No,
So-
100%. Thanks for tapping on that, because I did want to it kind of reminded me just to give everybody an invitation, right? Every Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month, we open up the meetings to people that are just interested, right? It's not like we don't not recruit people. I mean, the water's always warm. Get in if you want to get in, but if you're interested in getting into the business, reach out to one of us and we'd love to point you in the right direction. But maybe you're an insurance agent, maybe you're somebody, a tax professional, real estate professional, whatever the case may be. You want to integrate this as part of your services. You like what we're doing here, like reach out to us. We'd love to partner with you. There's a lot of different ways that we partner with people, but join us. Come to one of our meetings. Check us out. We are also going to have a big event. Forgot to talk about
yes,
that.
that's
Big
right.
event
That's
beginning of September, right?
Mhm.
Our first big event. It's going to be called the Wealth Builders event.
Awesome.
We'll have tax professionals talking about taxes. We'll have couples in business, how to build your business, investing into real estate, commercial. I might have my buddy Adrian come out, talk about investing into commercial real estate.
Okay.
We'll have a lot of individuals there on talking about strategies of how to genuinely build wealth.
Perfect.
Not just through insurance. This is not the only way to build wealth. I'll be
Right.
the first one to tell you that. But
we'll protect it.
yeah, but we'll protect it. That's right. That's right. You want to build it, you want to protect it, right? So
Yes.
that's going to be coming up, so stay tuned for that. Catch all of their Instagrams down in the comments or in the information down below. But
And
yeah,
if you do reach out to me, I'll try to remember you the first time. So I'm just saying,
thanks.
you know,
Lesson learned.
don't big time Yvoone. Don't big time Yvoone. I learned that today.
Real quick,
Any closing comments? Yeah, Danny.
Go
What's
ahead.
up?
real quick, I'm glad to be on a team with you guys doing this. You guys are all
Heck yeah.
very good individuals and like to help people, and we're all kind of in the same boat. No,
Yeah.
we
Doing
are
it
in the
together.
same boat.
Doing
That's
it
right.
together.
No, this is
One
great.
team, one mission.
Yeah, exactly. Love
One
that.
team, one mission.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, 100%,
Cool.
bro.
All right.
Yvoone,
Thank you.
any closing comments?
No, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
I really believe that we are meant to be.
Yeah.
Always, that God puts us exactly where we are meant to be.
That's right.
And I will close with this, right? We're not here to sell. I love this.
Yeah.
We're here to serve.
Right.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Drop
So,
the
yeah.
mic.
Boom.
Not here to sell. We're here to serve.
Exactly.
Let us know how we can serve you.
Yep.
Guys, we appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, comment, share this podcast with somebody.
All the things.
The Wealth Group podcast hosted by your people over at The Financial Architects. Again, my name is
Yes.
Pablo. I'm here with Manolo, Daniel, and Yvonne. We love you guys. Thanks so much. We'll catch you guys on next week's episode. Peace.
Okay.